Hi, I'm Jessica and welcome to Bourbon and Biscuits. Today on this special holiday swap edition, I'm going to be making a Woodford pudding and Stacy will be pairing this with a bourbon cocktail. Let's get started. Here's what we'll need. 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of granulated sugar, 1 cup of sifted all-purpose flour, a cup of seedless blackberry jam, a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 6 eggs, 1 cup of evaporated milk, and 2 tablespoons of bourbon. Okay, so this is called Woodford pudding, but it's a pudding in like the British sense of the word. So really we're making a very moist cake and then we're gonna make a bourbon sauce that's gonna be served warm over that. So the first part is the cake. I'm going to put my baking soda into my buttermilk to start with and just mix this up. And then the next thing we're gonna do is just cream the sugar and butter in our stand mixer. And we're just using 1 cup of the sugar for now. The other cup of sugar is going to go into the sauce. Same with the butter. 1 stick right now, 1 stick for the sauce. All right, so now that that butter and sugar is really well combined, I'm going to add in our eggs. And this is 3 eggs, and I have lightly whisked these together. And then we're just gonna blend that up a little bit too to incorporate it all. All right, now we are going to add in all of our warm spices. And we're gonna add in our buttermilk and baking soda mixture and our flour, kind of in 2 phases. We're gonna do a little buttermilk, a little flour, a little buttermilk, a little flour until this is all well combined as well. All right, and I'm just gonna scrape down the sides of this bowl a little bit and we're gonna add in our salt and our blackberry jam. We're gonna mix this until it's pretty well combined, but you don't need the jam to be, all the way incorporated. We just wanna make sure it's spread evenly throughout, but you don't wanna overmix it at this stage. So then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pour all this into a buttered and floured Bundt pan and get it into the oven at 325 degrees for about 40 minutes. It really kind of depends on your oven. So we're gonna check it probably at like 35. Shouldn't take any more than 55. Okay, so to make our bourbon sauce, we're gonna be using the other stick of butter, the remaining 1 cup of sugar. We're gonna do this in a heavy saucepan over medium heat. So we're gonna melt this, stir it together until it combines. All right, now that that is melted, we're gonna add our 1 cup of evaporated milk. And then we're gonna add our 3 egg yolks. So I took the remaining 3 eggs, separated them, and then whisked the yolks before we add that in here. And we're gonna stir this until it starts to thicken, and then we will add our bourbon. All right, so now this sauce has thickened up quite a bit, so we're just gonna add the bourbon and take it off the heat, and we are going to serve this sauce warm and the cake warm. So we're just gonna leave it here until we're ready. To serve our Woodford pudding, you're gonna let the cake cool slightly and then slice it and then pour over the warm sauce. So while I'm plating this up, let's go to Stacy, who is making our cocktail today.
So I'm excited to be on this side of the bar today, and when Jessica and I were talking about what today's cocktail should be, we really wanted to play off the butterscotch notes in the sauce that she made for the Woodford pudding. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna start with some Woodford Reserve, which has nothing to do with the Woodford name of the pudding. We'll talk about that later, but this is their fun holiday bottle. We're gonna add some butterscotch liqueur. We have some bitters and some Grand Marnier. So let's do it. We've got our mixing glass already prepared with some ice. We're gonna add 1.5 ounces of the Kentucky bourbon, the Woodford, to this. Okay, we're gonna take 3/4 of an ounce of the Grand Marnier. We're gonna do a 1/2 ounce of this butterscotch liqueur or schnapps. And a couple, 3 to 4 dashes of these, we're using orange bitters in this. I'm just gonna give this a good stir in our cocktail glass. And you can already smell the butterscotch coming off of that. Okay, we're just gonna strain it into this martini glass. And for a finishing move, we're gonna take our peeler and peel a nice piece of this orange. Give it a little twist and add it to the side. And there you have it, our bourbon butterscotch martini. I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed our own version of a holiday exchange.
You know what? I had a lot of fun baking. It's very therapeutic to me normally, and I still enjoyed it even on camera. It was a lot of fun.
And I love making cocktails, so it was a fun twist. Maybe we'll repeat it.
Maybe, we'll see.
Okay, all right. Well, tell us about, you're gonna do the history of, since you made it.
All right, so Woodford Pudding is a recipe that is at least 150 years old.
Wow.
And it was definitely published in Kentucky in 1875, so we know that it goes at least that far back.
Gilded age.
Yeah, this recipe in particular came to us from our friend Vicki, who is a board member at the Fraser History Museum, and she contributes recipes to them, and they all have some kind of Kentucky significance. This is actually her Yates family Woodford Pudding recipe that was handed down from generations of her farm ancestors who would have had a lot of these ingredients on hand, and they made it for Christmas every year.
I can see why they still make it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's really good.
It may become a tradition.
I think we're adding this to this Yates family tradition.
Love it, yeah.
That was amazing.
It's unique, it's very good, it feels a little British, which I know you love.
I do. And it's giving me gingerbread feels too. It really made the kitchen smell.
Yeah, it does
like
smell
Christmas.
great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I think, gonna pair well with this.
Let's try it. Well, I think you nailed it. That's delicious. It's got a lot of really good balance with the citrus
really
and the butterscotch.
Who knew I could make the cocktails too?
I felt confident.
Well, here's to new holiday traditions and your holiday traditions.
Oh yeah, we'll see you next time on Bourbon
and Biscuits.
Cheers.
Cheers.